Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating military leaders. I'm your host, General Biography. Today, we're going to explore the life and career of Ambrogio Spinola, a renowned Italian general who played a crucial role in the 80 Years' War. Ambrogio Spinola was born on October 27, 1569, in Genoa, Italy, to a prominent noble family. His father, Filippo Spinola, was a wealthy merchant and banker who had served as an ambassador to Spain, where he developed close relationships with many influential Spanish nobles. Ambrogio's mother, Giovanna Garaventa, came from a respected family of Genoese aristocrats. The Spinola family was known for their intelligence, courage, and strategic thinking, traits that would serve Ambrogio well throughout his life. Growing up in Genoa, Ambrogio was surrounded by the sights and sounds of a bustling port city. He spent his childhood playing in the narrow streets and alleys of the old town, exploring the harbor and watching the ships come and go from the Mediterranean. The Spinola family's palazzo, located in the heart of the city, was a grand and imposing structure that reflected their wealth and status. Ambrogio's early life was marked by comfort and privilege, but also by a strong sense of duty and responsibility to his family and community. As a young boy, Ambrogio received a traditional education, studying Latin, Greek, and mathematics at a local school. He showed a keen interest in history and literature, devouring the works of ancient authors such as Xenophon and Julius Caesar. His parents encouraged his love of learning, recognizing that a well-educated son would be better equipped to navigate the complexities of international politics and diplomacy. In 1585, when Ambrogio was just 16 years old, he began his formal education at the University of Pisa, where he studied philosophy, law, and literature. This was a typical education for a young nobleman at the time, designed to prepare him for a career in politics or diplomacy. However, Ambrogio's true passion was military affairs, and he spent much of his free time reading about history's great generals and studying the art of war. During his time at university, Ambrogio would have been exposed to the works of modern military theorists, such as Niccolò Machiavelli, who argued that a successful military leader must be able to adapt to changing circumstances and outmaneuver his opponents. He would have also studied the writings of other prominent military thinkers, including the ancient Greek historian Polybius and the Roman general Vegetius. In 1592, when Ambrogio was just 23 years old, he traveled to Spain to serve as a page in the royal household. This experience would prove to be a turning point in his life, as he became immersed in the world of Spanish politics and military affairs. He would have had the opportunity to meet with prominent Spanish nobles and military leaders, including the great general Alexander Farnese, who was known for his victories against the Dutch rebels. Ambrogio's time in Spain was marked by a deepening interest in military affairs and a growing sense of purpose. He began to see himself as a future leader, someone who could make a real difference on the battlefield. His experiences in Spain would shape his understanding of warfare and inform his strategic thinking, laying the foundation for his later successes as a general. With his family's influence, his education, and his experience in the Spanish court, he has all the ingredients necessary to become a truly remarkable military leader. This conflict, which lasted from 1568 to 1648, was a complex and multifaceted struggle between the Dutch Republic and the Spanish Empire. Ambrogio's experience in Spain had given him a deep understanding of the war and its key players, and he was determined to make a name for himself on the battlefield. In 1602, at the age of 33, Ambrogio joined the Spanish army as a volunteer and quickly distinguished himself as a skilled and fearless soldier. He fought in several battles against the Dutch rebels, including the Siege of Ostend, where he played a key role in the Spanish victory. His bravery and tactical genius caught the attention of his superiors, who soon promoted him to the rank of captain. As Ambrogio's reputation grew, so did his responsibilities. In 1605, he was appointed as the commander of a regiment of Italian infantry, which he led with distinction in several battles against the Dutch. His units were known for their discipline and esprit de corps, and Ambrogio's leadership style, which emphasized initiative and adaptability, inspired loyalty and devotion in his soldiers. One of Ambrogio's most significant achievements during this period was his role in the Siege of Sluis, a strategic port city in the Netherlands. In 1604, the Spanish army, led by Ambrogio's mentor, Archduke Albert of Austria, laid siege to the city, which was defended by a garrison of Dutch rebels. Ambrogio, who was then just 35 years old, played a crucial role in the siege, using his knowledge of the terrain and his tactical expertise to outmaneuver the defenders. The Siege of Sluis was a major victory for the Spanish, and it marked a turning point in the war. The city's capture gave the Spanish control of the coastal regions of the Netherlands, allowing them to blockade the Dutch ports and strangle their economy. Ambrogio's contribution to the siege was recognized by his superiors, who praised his bravery, intelligence, and leadership. As we explore Ambrogio's military career, it's essential to understand the context in which he operated. The 80 Years' War was a conflict characterized by shifting alliances, complex politics, and innovative tactics. Ambrogio's experience in Spain had given him a deep understanding of the war's dynamics, and he was able to adapt his strategies to respond to changing circumstances. In addition to his military successes, Ambrogio was also known for his diplomatic skills. He was fluent in several languages, including Spanish, Italian, and French, which allowed him to communicate effectively with his allies and negotiate with his enemies. His ability to navigate the complex web of alliances and rivalries that characterized the war was essential to his success as a commander. In 1604, Ambrogio was appointed as the commander-in-chief of the Spanish army in the Netherlands, a position that gave him overall responsibility for the war effort. He was just 45 years old at the time, but he had already established himself as one of the most respected and feared military leaders in Europe. His experiences during the 80 Years' War have shaped him into a brilliant strategist and a skilled leader, capable of inspiring loyalty and devotion in his soldiers. The 30 Years' War, which lasted from 1608 to 1648, was a devastating conflict that ravaged much of Europe, involving many of the major powers of the time, including the Holy Roman Empire, Sweden, France, and Spain. In 1621, Ambrogio was appointed as the commander-in-chief of the Spanish army in the Netherlands, a position he had previously held from 1604 to 1608. He was tasked with leading the Spanish forces against the Dutch rebels, who were now allied with the English and the French. Ambrogio's experience and tactical genius were crucial in this new phase of the war, as he faced off against some of the most skilled military leaders of the time. One of Ambrogio's most notable achievements during this period was his successful defense of the city of Breda, which was besieged by the Dutch rebels in 1624. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, Ambrogio's forces held off the attackers for several months, inflicting heavy casualties on the enemy. The siege was eventually lifted when a Spanish relief force arrived, but not before Ambrogio had proven his mettle as a defensive strategist. As the 30 Years' War dragged on, Ambrogio became increasingly disillusioned with the conflict and the politics that drove it. He was a soldier, not a politician, and he longed for a return to the simplicity and clarity of military life. In 1629, he resigned his commission as commander-in-chief and retired from active duty. Ambrogio spent the remainder of his life in quiet contemplation, surrounded by his family and friends. He died on September 25, 1630, at the age of 61, leaving behind a legacy as one of the greatest military leaders of his time. His impact on the art of war was profound, and his tactics and strategies continue to be studied by military historians and theorists to this day. As we reflect on Ambrogio's life and career, it's clear that he was a man of remarkable intelligence, courage, and determination. He was a true leader who inspired loyalty and devotion in his soldiers, and his name became synonymous with bravery and tactical genius. His legacy extends far beyond the battlefields of Europe, and his influence can still be felt today. In conclusion, Ambrogio Spinola's story is a testament to the power of human ingenuity and determination. He was a man who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most respected and feared military leaders of his time, and his legacy continues to inspire us today. As the great military strategist Sun Tzu once said, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." Ambrogio Spinola's life and career are a testament to this principle, and his legacy continues to inspire us to strive for greatness in all that we do. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography, reminding you to keep marching toward victory.